Okay, good morning. So, something a little bit different today. I'm about to go out to my Saturday morning run club. A really good time. Having a nice time at the moment, exercising with other people and going out there, running, chatting, meeting new people, motivating each other. Really, really enjoyable and something a little bit different for me. But before I was going, I was just doing my trigger exercises for the morning. So I'm no expert here. I'm by no means where I want to be in my, sort of fitness and health and, sport goals sort of journey. But I thought it might be kind of interesting to share this technique, which is reaped a lot of benefits for me personally, and maybe you can try it out and see if it does anything similar for you. So the idea of trigger workouts or greasing the groove or feeder workouts, whatever you want to call them, and I'm sort of hesitant to use the word workout here, are these 8 to 10 minutes sessions you do to really just kind of maybe get a little pump and really focus on some, mind muscle connection and really send that sort of muscle building signal to your body. Mind muscle connection is something that I found, is kind of like a beginner, especially in weightlifting and sort of resistance training. I found that to be something terribly important to avoid injuries, to make sure you're doing the exercise properly, and also to make that intentional connection, which really does seem to promote that sort of like anabolic muscle building signal. So I found the trigger workouts really, really useful for them. So let's talk about a bit about how they sort of operate. And the whole idea is just using resistance bands, really, really light resistance bands, or you move up if need be, but this isn't meant to be a workout. This is just meant to be something, as I said, trigger exercises. So I'll put some examples of the multiple different trigger workouts I do in my day, but here's an example, something like this. You're just simply doing a bunch of really intentional, squeezing, mind muscle connection curls. Maybe you're doing hammer curls as well as another option. You can be attaching your band to things to be doing flies. You can be wrapping around your back to do presses. I'll put a list of all these sorts of things, and you can go to sort of better sources than me to watch demonstrations if needed. Or maybe in the future I might even outline a full trigger session. But what's the idea here? The idea is to, definitely on recovery days when you're not doing like full-on resistance training, try and get in these like 2 or 3 times a day. 2 or 3 times a day, so your body's like actually sort of, continually using these muscles in some way, continually connecting with these muscles in some way to send that sort of like anabolic signal. The idea and the premise that this sort of comes from is you look at people, who are using, muscle groups continuously in whatever occupation they're doing or whatever their lifestyle is. You look at male men and you look at how they've got these incredible calves, right? Now, is that because they're there doing, 200 kilogram calf presses 3 times a week for, 6 sets or whatever? No, it's because they're constantly triggering it with the amount of movement that they do. You look at people working on a production line and you see they've got these like meaty forearms or whatever. Again, it's from that constant anabolic signal and that low intensity pump and that low intensity signal that's being sent just kind of continuously, rather than you just being somebody who rocks up and does resistance training, 2 times a week for a couple of sessions, and then after that your body is not exposed to any of these sorts of signals again. Okay, sure, maybe you're walking, you're standing up every so often, but are you really engaging with these sort of muscles in like a consistent basis like some of these people are in these other occupations are doing? No. But the trigger session is something that helps you do that. It sends those anabolic signals. I found it to be incredibly useful. I find it incredibly easy to get these in 2 or 3 times a day, right? Just for 8-10 minutes, and then you stop. There's times, like, you know, for someone hyperactive like me, I want to like keep going sometimes, but it's cutting it off at that 10 minutes, just getting that little sort of pump and going back to your day. And carrying around something like a resistance band in your bag, especially a really light one, is really easy. So even if you're like not at home or whatever, and you're out and about, you can find a park or something to, like, you know, find a little corner and, you know, do some curls, you know, do some whatever, and kind of get that little pump going. I found this incredibly beneficial for me. Maybe this is a little bit of bro science that I'm talking about, but, you know, if you're interested, check it out. I'm not saying that this is a replacement for your sort of standard, you know, resistance training. It is something to accompany it. It is something to aid recovery. It is something to keep you continually moving and send those anabolic signals. If you're interested in any other things you're doing, as again, I'm not an expert, but I'm a keen learner and somebody who's like exploring things probably like you. If you've got any questions or you've got any sort of advice for me, you know, please let me know so we can have these conversations. Maybe I'll outline a trigger workout at some time. I will post in the description, you know, an example of things that you can do within those 8 to 10 minutes. But if we ever want to do like a full session or something like that, maybe that's something for the future. Thank you for watching. I've got a Telegram group that I'm putting down in the description below. And sorry if it was incredibly obnoxious for me to just continue to not have a shirt on and talk to you for a few minutes about these exercises.